All right, family. What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your man, it's your boy, VACAY-J. We back, we live. What's good? Come on through, come on through. It's time to talk about paradise. As I said, I was going to do this first reaction for y'all. We are here. Come on through, come on in the room. YouTube, come on in the room. It's time to talk about Paradise, episode 1, season 2. Come on in the room, family. Definitely shout yourselves out. It's your boy, it's your man. We're going to talk about it, family. We're going to talk about it, family. And as long as y'all interested in talking about it, then I'm going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But Paradise, episode 1. What's good? I see you. I see you. Hey, hey, hey. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? What's going on, Mayana? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Definitely hit that like button. Share this out. Share this out. Yeah, we talking about it today. We are talking about it today. What is that? What a professional looking entrance. Okay, thank you. I saw the first message, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. How do I sound? Do I sound good? You know, always got to check with the professional because we know you're a professional when it comes down to sound and stuff. But thank you, family, for coming through, family. It's time to talk about Paradise. We've been waiting for this season 2. Very interesting. Episode 1. Very interesting. You see, we got the folks here. You don't see Sterling K. Brown yet, but we're gonna talk about episode 1, and then we'll go and do episode 2 another time, and then keep going from there. All right, family. Let me know you're ready. I sound good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, sound fire. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we're going to get to it, fam. If you're ready to get to it, I'm ready to get to it. You know what I'm saying? I've been working out a little bit. I don't know if y'all see we've been working it out a little bit, you know? All right, family, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
VACAY-JayTV.
Yes. We are here once again. Episode 1. How's everybody doing? First and foremost, happy Monday, or happy any day that you have been tuning in to VACAY-JayTV, family. And you know, I'm excited about this because I watch it. I'm invested. This is season 2 now. They got greenlit for season 2. So now we're talking about what? We're talking about what? We're talking about, if you watch season 1, you already know. We're talking about what happened after the big bang, after the monsoon happened, right? Did anybody survive? Where is Xavier's wife? We're going to talk about all of that, but we're going to talk about episode 1 first because there's a reason why they laid it out for us in this way, right? So let's get to it, family. If you've seen it, definitely give me a thumbs up. And let's rate it first. Let's do a rating first. You know how I do. We're going to rate it first, okay? And I want to see what you guys rated, all right? So episode 1, season 2, if you watched it, put in the chat below. Put a 1 for fire, 2 for good, 3 for meh, or 4 for you just not feeling it. You're just not feeling it. You know, put that in the chat. Let me know if you've seen the episode. Put that in the chat. And, you know, I'll give you my rating at the very end as we go into breaking down this first episode and why it's so important. This episode, when I watched it, it seemed that it was like very important for us to see this, for this setup to happen. Now, again, this is not the normal stuff that we usually cover, but I wanted to talk to y'all and share this with you today because, again, we're expanding on VACAY-JayTV. So let's get into it, fam. Let's get into it. I have some things set up here. So the first scene that we see this young lady, right? And I don't know who she is. You don't know who she is. We don't know who she is, but obviously she is important. Now she is, looks like she's on a bus and she's taking this bus to a special place. Where is she going? She's actually going to Graceland. And Graceland, for those that don't know, is the home, or used to be the home, of Elvis Presley. So she's on a tour to Graceland, and she's being taught everything about Elvis, right? And this guy, he's taking them on tour. She's taking notes, she's like really studying this and writing this down. I'm like, okay, are you doing like a school project? Are you doing like a paper? Like, what exactly are you there for? Because you're like the youngest person there. Everybody else is like, older, look like some retirees, look like some people that just wanted to visit to see Elvis and see Graceland and see, his statue and see whatever was in the house that he was staying in, him and all of that. Right. So she's very, very serious. She's very invested in Elvis. And then she goes home. And when she goes home, she is met by her mother. So we're introduced to her mother. And her mother, if you look back here, I don't know if you see it, she has a whole bunch of degrees and all this and that. Right here, though, right here, she looks like she's a smoker, so she smokes a lot. But very important, up here, you see she got Elvis's picture on the mantle. Like, how you go in some households, some of our households, right? And we'll have, some of the old school households that have Martin Luther King up there, right? Have their, Martin Luther King up there, or some people who are very religious, they'll have a picture of Jesus. No, 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 no. She got Elvis and some heirlooms, like, this Elvis cup here and all this other stuff, like all these plaques, like I guess she is like a super fan. So her mother is a super fan of Elvis, and she likes Pringles because she wanted, this young lady, and her name, let me give you the young lady's name. Her name is Anne. That's her name. Her name is Annie. So her mom likes Pringles, but she smokes a lot. We've seen a lot of that going on. And she was taking notes because I guess she's not well enough to go on the tour because it seems like she's very obsessed with, Elvis. Okay. So she goes about, the young lady, Annie, she goes about her business, right? She goes to school, does what she needs to do. She comes home this time, but her mom is just sitting there in silence. Her mom passes away. So we already getting to somebody being unalive. And as you see, there's not a lot of people up in there, man. It's just her, which is Annie, and there's no other family up in there, man. I don't know who this person is right here, but it's just Annie and the preacher conducting the service and her mom in the coffin. Real sad because she's the only one there. Obviously, she doesn't have any other family. And it's like, whoa, okay, different, real different, fam. I'm just like, okay. And then we fast forward, and now Annie is a medical student. So I guess Annie, she was looking to, her mom passed from there was some mental issues that she had, which led to physical issues and all of this and that. So her mom passed away. She had no family, but now she's in medical school. You know what I'm saying? Now I guess she's trying to become a doctor, whatever the case is, right? So I'm like, okay, pretty good start. All right, tragedy, but still, this young lady is moving on with her life. She doesn't look happy, but she's moving on with her life. Okay. So, she's in there, she's she's a student, and they're going from patient to patient. And the actual doctor's like, okay, this is what they do. They take the students and they go see the patients, and they say, based on their condition, what do you recommend? Right. So Annie was helping this other guy. He was stuttering. He was like, I think you should, and she wrote down exactly what he needed to say. And she pointed to it. And the doctor saw that she was pointing, that she was trying to help this guy out. Right. So the doctor says, listen, you do the next one. So she did the next person. And what happened is that she started to feel a little pressure, a little traumatic pressure, because the lady that she was seeing, or she was talking to, she had a condition which was similar to the condition that her mother had. So she had a little anxiety about it. And it wasn't a good look because, she actually was fumbling and looked like she was about to fall out. And, here it is right here. She was looking at this lady's leg, and and she was trying to diagnose it, and she was just thinking about, she was getting flashbacks. Her mom was going through what she was going through. You know what I'm saying? And when she gets nervous, she does just like her mother. Her mother will like pick at her nails. So this is her picking at her nails to the point that they would become bloody, and she would wipe it on her shirt or wipe it on whatever. Real different stuff, man. But she was going through it trying to diagnose this person. And they was like, "You okay?" She almost fell out. So obviously, it's obvious that, you know, she's very traumatized by what happened to her mom. And yeah. Real serious stuff. Again, this is a setup episode. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. This was super set up. I wasn't mad at it because, again, we have to introduce these characters. With Paradise, if you don't know, if you saw season 1, you understand what's going on. In every episode, they kind of specify and they focus on one character and the characters around that character to build them out, to flesh them out, and then they'll connect them to the main character somehow, some way, which is Xavier, played by Sterling K. Brown, right? So, you know, that's what it is. And she absolutely misses her mom, but she's definitely traumatized by what's going on. Okay. Now let me look at the chat. Let me see if anybody's in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. If y'all following along, cool. And yeah, we gonna keep that going. All right. There we go. Let me put it like that. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's get back to it. So she is in medical school. She had that traumatic episode and everything like that. And turn around. She is outside the Graceland Park, right? The place where the Elvis tour is. And she's crying in the car. Because from that traumatic episode that she had where she almost like misdiagnosed or didn't diagnose that patient, I guess she couldn't stand it, and they just kind of like, she just quit. Right there on the spot. It was just like, man, like she was very, very upset. It was very, very upset about everything, right? Couldn't take it. I guess she couldn't take it, but she meets this lady who absolutely is like, "Hey, listen, miss, you can't park here. What's going on?" And she was like, "Hey, I just quit being in medical school and I don't have any family." And, the lady was just like, "Listen, I'm sorry, you can't park here at Graceland. We're not taking any more visitors," or whatever the case is. And she was very nice. Her name is Gail. This is Gail Edwards. All right. And she's head of security. And she's like, "Ma'am, you can't park here. I'm sorry. You got to go." But, Annie's totally upset. And she's like looking at her, and Gail is very nice. She's like, "I understand what you're going through." And she feels sorry for her. And she's like, "Hey, you know what? Do you know anything about Elvis?" Right? That's what Gail asked her. "You know anything about Elvis?" And she's like, "I know too much about Elvis." Because remember, as a little girl, her mother would send her there to study and get all this and that and find about the jokes and how it was done and how the tour is being done. So she knows everything about Elvis. And she asked her, and she's like, "Why?" And turn around, Gail gets her a job working as a tour guide. She said, like, all the tour guides are like old guys and they like drop dead. So if you know about Elvis, maybe you can join us and be a part of it. And she basically got her job working at Graceland. Now, again, with Annie, she has no family. She has nobody. And Gail came and really kind of saved her life, because now Annie's going to be giving tours. Yeah, it's very, very detailed. A lot of detail in just the first 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes of what's going on. But everything has everything to do with something. Everything is connected. That's why I love this show, because the way that it's written, the things that happen in the show, like this, for instance, this interaction right here is very, very prevalent to the rest of the series and what happens going forward from there, So it's very important, very, very important. And Gail is, she's a sister, man. She's going to look out for, people that's going through it. That's just how we are. That's just in our nature. We see somebody down. We want to help somebody out, especially, our Black mamas, right? Black mamas, salute to the Black mamas out there. We know that y'all care about a lot of folks. You take a lot of folks in, okay? So she starts her career as a tour guide. at Graceland, and it's all good. And something happens. She's doing well. She's getting to know Gail and all of this and that, right? They become like best buddies, work buddies, and all this and that. But something crazy happens, right? Something crazy happens where all of a sudden they get an alert on their phones. And it says there's a tsunami happening and people are going crazy. Like, I can't go on this tour. And, this is when the beginning of that whole, tsunami thing happening. See right there, latest news, right? Tsunami going down. People are going crazy. They're like, I can't be on this tour. They start running back to the bus. They start looking at stuff. They're like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And she's trying to give the tour, but these people are totally distracted by what's going on because they're like, yo, we can't be here. We got to get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? The world is about to end. It's about to be over. So they going crazy. She's trying to calm people down. Now, Annie, she's smart, right? She went to medical school, obviously, right? She's a very smart young lady. So with all of this stuff going on, with all the reports coming through the phone, and they watching it on TV, they watching the actual, remember that wave? Remember that reporter from season 1? She was on top of the building, and it was like, yo, we need to get up out of here. She's like, nah. The wave ain't going to hit us. And that wave just came and just destroyed everything. And the cameraman, remember that? That was from season 1. So they're watching that right now in season 2, but they're in a whole different location of America. So this was just like, man, this is what happened on the other side, other side of the country, but this is Annie's story. So Annie tells Gail, hey, look, go ahead, go to the store across the street, get all the supplies that you can and all this and that. And Gail is like, yo, where we going to put it? Where we going to put it? And she said, we're going to put it in the basement of Graceland, right? The TV room. There was a special TV room. We'll put it down there. So, Annie was pretty smart. Annie was pretty smart because she was like, hey, this doesn't look good. This looks like something crazy is on the way. People are going to go nuts. We got to get all the supplies that we can just so we can survive on this thing, just so we can survive, right? So Gail goes and gets that, right? She goes and get it. She gets the food. She's like, okay, help me out. We're going to put it in the basement. And everything starts going crazy, man. The lights start going out. Lights start flickering. They go into the basement. But as they're running down to the basement, your girl Gail fell down the steps, man. She fell down the steps and it looks like she broke her leg, man. It's like a lot was going on. And they was just trying to get away. They was just trying to get away from the whole situation and stay out of harm's way. But yeah, she broke her leg. And now with Annie being a physician or almost a physician, she was almost a doctor. She's now taking care of your girl, Gail. And turn around, it's like, now that the flash happened and the nukes happened and everything else like that, now the sky is gray from all the ashes, and let me see, is this right here? No. This is part of the tour. So yeah, man, people going crazy and now they're in the basement. Now they're in the basement, wondering what's happening. Gail got a broken leg, and she's attending to Gail. Okay, everybody's gone. They go outside. They can't see the sun. It's supposed to be summer and it's cold out there because the ashes are covering the sun. The ashes from the nukes that didn't go off. But all the electricity is out and all, they just using candles and stuff like that, right? So I'm just like, man, this is crazy. Like, what if you went through that? Like, what if it actually happened in real life? I think about that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a bunker. You don't have a place to go. If you live in a place that doesn't have a basement, like where do you go in situations like that? What are you going to do if that ever happened? And I know it's like Final Destination. If y'all watch that movie, Final Destination, yeah, at first I was infatuated with that, but then I was just like, nah, I don't need to watch this anymore. I don't need to watch none of this anymore. And yeah, it was very intense watching this go down. But to make a long story short, they basically are in the basement and they're trying to make do. They're trying to, survive and stay warm. And she doesn't want to like start a fire because she doesn't want anybody to see them because she saw people looting. She saw people stealing stuff and people were going crazy, when they don't have any supplies and anything like that. People going crazy just to survive, So Annie's smart and she knew what was going on. And it looks like at the 368 days or something like that, let's just say a lot of days went by. A lot of days went by and Gail's leg got infected. And the next day, she was like, it's hypothermia. That's what they call it. When there's not a lot of heat, but your body kind of like freezes up on you. Hypothermia kind of took out and man, Gail passed away. Gail passed away and she buried her right next to Elvis, bro. I was like, dang. And that was the best friend. They was like locked in the basement all that time. You see how dark it is. It's supposed to be summertime and she got a rug around her and all this stuff and wrapped up. It was just crazy, man. No sun. And you got these little like burners. You know how when people do like catering and stuff like that, they got the burners underneath the food to keep it warm. That's how they were staying warm without creating a fire because they didn't want anybody to know that somebody was in the house. Super crazy, man. Super crazy. But yes, now your girl is by herself. Gail is gone. And man, could you do that? Could you yourself be locked in the basement for almost 3 years? Right? You got plenty of supplies. You got plenty of supplies because y'all made sure y'all made do, but almost 3 years you locked in this basement. You can move around the house and do what you need to do, but for the most part, man, Graceland was, I'll say, Annie and Gail's saving grace. Because if Elvis ain't have his parents find a home for $100,000 and all this and that and have all the high tech at that time, all the stuff set up for them to live there and be in privacy and have plenty of property around that so nobody will come in. Yeah, man, they probably would have been taken out just like everybody else, right? So she's in there, she's by herself, and all of a sudden, she hears some like people at the gate, right? She hears some people at the gate, and she sees that people trying to break in, right? And she's like, what the heck? What's going on? Like, she's like, uh-oh, people trying to break in now. They found Graceland. She don't know who these people are. She's looking out the window. And it's just real scary for her because she's by herself. There's nobody, like there to help her. So these guys are breaking in and they come into Graceland. And they go into the house. And they're like, yeah, there's some food here. And, there's somebody here. There's an open can of beans. Right? So it's like, yeah, somebody got to be here. So they're looking, they're searching, they're looking, they're searching. And eventually, they find your girl, Annie. Now, she has the strap. She took Elvis's, little silver strap just to protect herself. But still, like, she don't know who these guys are. And they're asking questions. And then she meets this dude. You see the dude on the thumbnail? She meets this guy. And he is trying to just ask her questions as to, like, where are things at? Like, okay, we're looking for, they went in there to really look for the cars because they're trying to find supplies. But she thinks they're coming in there just to rob her and just to, do some things to her. Like, I'll probably think the same thing. Like, you breaking and entering in places, it's 3 years you've been there, and now all of a sudden these people come through and you don't know who they are. But come to find out, make a long story, these guys were kind of, friendly to her. They wasn't there to harm her. They just wanted to get whatever they could as far as supplies and everything else like that. So she meets this guy. And let me see if I can pull him up. She meets this guy. Here he is. Here he is right here. Let me pull him up a little bit more. There he is. So she meets this guy, rugged looking guy, right? And they don't start off good because after he pulls her from under the bed, sits her down, she tells him where the cars are or whatever. Like before she did all that, like she was like spitting on, like, get out my face. Like But kind of find out this guy's a okay guy and he's rolling around with these dudes and they're just really trying to get supplies and they got a group of people that they kind of sticking with. And make a long story short, like he is just looking for supplies so they can find this bunker, but she doesn't know about the bunker yet. Okay. She doesn't know about the bunker. He knows about the bunker. They got a theory as to what happened. They sit down at dinner, they're cooking, they're getting real familiar and real cool with Annie just to let her know that she's safe, it's okay. He gives her the coat that she's wearing right here, and she kind of warms up to him. And now she tries to help them in little ways that they can, right? So of course, there's some tension. There's some sexual tension going on between these two. And that's why you see the thumbnail with the guy looking all, pretty, whatever, looking all handsome, whatever. Because eventually, make a long story short, they have a moment. They have a moment because, he helps her out and they help each other out. And yeah, they kind of they get together, yo. They basically get together. They get, you know what I mean by get together, right? They doing that, okay? They get together and they do that, okay? But this is after a long period of time, man. This is after a period of time when, she's just trying to get a feel of these guys and see if they really trying to rob her or take from her and all this and that, right? So they have a nice dinner, right? They like, look, he's like, look, we about to leave. We about to get out of here. We got to go to this bunker and find this and find that. And, they have a nice dinner and get cleaned up. And Annie, she looks good. Let me see. Let me pull her up. There she is right here. Annie, she looks good. She got all dressed up. This guy, he's coming through, he's shaved him, he got all shaved up or whatever. And, they all laughing and joking or whatever. But again, this is before the moment happens. And it was a pretty intense moment from what I saw because not just having the SEX, but she hasn't seen anybody. She only had Gail in that basement for all that time. And it's been 3 years and she hasn't had any any other human touch, right? So when they get together, it's like an explosion as far as emotions because her friend died. She was trying to save her friend, right? Her friend died and she didn't have anybody to talk to. She didn't have anybody to hug, anybody to touch, anybody to console her. So I kind of felt this moment here because, man, just think about being by yourself. The person that you were sheltered with passes away. You have nobody. There's nobody there, And then he comes along with his crew. They're friendly. They're trying to help out. And yeah, it was definitely an emotional moment that I saw coming from Annie. And Annie is a human being, just like any other human being. She's a human being, family. If you was by yourself for 3 years and had no interaction and your people passed away, your mom passed away a long time ago, so you really didn't have anybody, you didn't have any family, man, that's super sad. You know what I'm saying? So this is before they actually get it on. They start crying and get emotional. They get it on. And now Link is his name. I'm trying to find a good picture of him. Link is telling her that he wants her to come with them because they're going to find this bunker where they know that there's supplies and everything else like that, where the elites are sheltered. So he knows all about it. Him and this other guy, they're talking. They're like, yeah, we know about it. We just gonna, now we got cars. Now we got this, that, and the third. Let's go up there. So Link was really trying to link up with her. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. He was really trying to get her to come with them. But Annie, she'd been so used to being alone and, she kind of just like, nah, I'm not going. Like she didn't say I'm not going. She just hid in the room and didn't answer him when he was trying to get her to come out. You know what I'm saying? And, it was pretty sad. It was pretty sad. But, she stayed there. She stayed there and, it was kind of like they were falling in love type of thing, her and Link. And yeah, man, it was just like, she stayed there for a reason. Now, again, everything is connected. The way they wrote this, I love the way they wrote it. I love the way this show is written because everything connects to everything else. You know how there's shows that have like writers, and some writers connect the last episode to the one that they're writing, but some writers don't do that at all. They just do a whole different episode, which has something to do with the story, the main storyline, but it doesn't connect sometimes. It doesn't connect. With Paradise, it definitely connects. It definitely connects. So they left out, Link is upset because he seemed like he was falling in love with her and all this and that. And they're playing the Elvis songs, and he asked what her favorite song was, and she said, "Are You Lonely Tonight?" He's not really familiar with Elvis songs. I thought it was, a nice interaction, a cute interaction that they had. But they leave out. They leave out. And, your girl is by herself, and they playing Elvis love songs. They're playing all these slow songs and all this and that. And to make a long story short, man, she was sitting there, and we find out, let me see if I can find it. We find out that Annie actually got pregnant by Link. So now she by herself with a baby, and this horse that she let go, one of Elvis's horses that she let go, came back. And yeah, she is now pregnant by herself, all alone. Now she's been alone for 3 years, but to be alone and to be pregnant, like that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all, right? So let's see here. I'm just trying to find it here. She's pregnant, and then she hears like a plane crash. All right. It goes down. All right. And then turn around. They have a telescope. Elvis had a telescope. And she looks at the area, and it looks like it was like a bomb that went off, but it sounded like it was a plane. So she went ahead, got on a horse with her pregnant self, and went down to where that plane went down. And guess who she saw laying out there? She saw your boy Xavier, right? She saw Xavier. Let me see if this is it right here. She saw Xavier laid out on the ground. Here it is. Yep, this is it. And again, all by herself, pregnant and the whole nine. And she discovered that the person that was flying the plane, and she got her strap, is Xavier. So he crashed, and she's checking his pulse. And yep, she got the strap. She's pregnant. She got the horse, and she's there with Xavier. And that is pretty much the end of episode 1. So what do we know? We know that this guy here, Link, has a crew. They know where the bunker is. They're going to that bunker. He linked up with Annie, okay? And now Annie is pregnant, and now she has been connected to Xavier. All right? Now, the question is she going to help Xavier or not? She's going to help him to a certain extent. Of course, she's going to be like, I gotta find my wife. I gotta find my wife, right? So we're gonna find out exactly what happens next in the next episode. And depending on how you guys receive this one, you may see a first reaction to episode 2. Now, if you're into this, if you are ready to go deeper, dive into Paradise with me, all right, then I'll do so. We'll get into it. We'll discuss it. We'll go back and forth with it. At the same time, I will be doing a live discussion with the crew, so you can check us out there as well. All of us will be streaming, so you'll see that right here on VACAY-JayTV as well, family. So that's it right there. That's pretty much the end of the episode 1. How do I rate this? Okay. Oh, man. Okay, I see you now. My man, the Lawrence Report, he came through. Let's see here. There we go. He says episode 3 though. It's 5. Okay. I didn't even see episode 3 yet. So I'm not even going there yet. He say my son's name is Xavier. Okay. I see you right there. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this goes, fam. I'm into it, and I hope y'all can get into it as well. This was Graceland episode 1, first reaction. And y'all let me know, what do I rate this one? I rate this one a 2. I rated a 2. It was good. It was a good setup episode. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a good setup episode. So if I was to rate this, I'm gonna rate it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2 for right now. I'm gonna give it a 2. You know, so if we do episode 2, depending on how these numbers do here, if we get good numbers on this, y'all share this out, y'all like this, and y'all want to go deeper into this, I'll go deeper into it. At the same time, we'll do a live discussion on it, all right? All right, family, so that's Paradise, episode 1, season 2. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching live, thank you for watching live. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, hit that hype button. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And yeah, family, let me know. This is how we do, all right? I'm going to see y'all next time in the next live event. It's your man, VACAY-J. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. Salute.
I don't wanna go without you.